I want to invite you to this channel, and I hope that it's going to be inspirational, it's going to be motivating, it's going to be a learning experience for all of us. I will be carrying some podcasts on this channel, and I trust that it's going to be a blessing to somebody, and somebody is going to be encouraged. Because you see, in this life that we are living, there is a lot that is to be desired, and sometimes we need to ask ourselves, why is it that we are in this world? Why is it that we are born, raised up by our parents, and educated, given all the privileges of a child, of a good family, and then thereafter, we are educated, and then thereafter, we get jobs, careers, and some get married, of others get children, and then life progresses. And I mean, why is all this? And somebody would want to find out, why is it that I'm on this world? Why do I live in this world? What is the purpose for me to be on this world? Because I believe that's the most important thing. And many times we don't actually live to the potential that we have. And it is important for us just to find out, the reason why you are in this world. Why is it that you are the person that you are? And it begins actually from getting to know your identity. Who are you? Yeah. Who are you when you are alone? Who are you when you are in, multitudes? Because the most important person within you is the person that you are in and out of, the crowds and the multitude. That is actually the person that you are. And many times it's very important for us to understand that we don't live for people. We live for the purpose that God has created us, of course. And what we do for others, it is to help them also to become who they are. We have people who have helped us to be who we are. My mother helped me by carrying me for 9 months and bringing me in this world and giving me, even the first meal. The first meal. I think I will be talking about a mother on some of these podcasts. She gave me the first meal, what I love. And thereafter, took care of me, fed me, bathed me, clothed me, sheltered me. Just think of these things that a mother does to a young child. And the reason why they are doing that is because they are helping that child to become what the child is supposed to be in future. And in that process of nurturing that child, many times I do believe that mothers, they always think the best, that this child is going to be the president in the future. This child is going to be, a big person, an influential person. There is no single mother that brings out a child and not, determined for them to become something or somebody in the future. And of course, that also depends, whatever we become and whoever we become depends on choices that we make in life. But I don't want to speak about motivational right now, but I want to talk to us about our identity. And in this particular podcast, I want to talk about us as Kenyans. Bear with me if you're from other region, and I know that what I'm going to talk about is going to resonate with even those who are from other regions of the world. It baffles me to realize that we have a Kenyan culture, if I may say, a culture of corruption, a culture of deprivement, a culture of robbing, a culture of always wanting what the other person has, a culture of greed, a culture, um, of wanting to become better than the other person. And when I'm talking about this, I want to address the issue of the culture of corruption in our society. It is amazing how some of these things are so deep rooted in our culture that you would think that this is a stereotype of every Kenyan, not just one community, but most of the communities in this country. Do we realize that corruption, greed, and wanting more and more is so much engraved in our culture and in our society that sometimes it baffles one when they think about the things that happen in our society. Look at it this way. Corruption is not only practiced in government offices, because many times when we think about corruption, we think about the government offices, public, coffers being taken away or robbed and such and such. But I want just to bring you home. It amazes me that if you ask for help from somebody, let's talk of you want to go to some place and it's like you don't know the place exactly, and somebody will offer to give you, help and to show you the place. I have seen this happening many times that you would want to ask somebody for help and show you the direction, but it doesn't just come that easily, because the person, instead of seeing a brother, sister, a fellow human being that needs help, they want to see what opportunity they can get to receive something from you. Like for instance, I have found that sometimes you have a car breakdown on the road, and you are there, you don't know exactly what to do, because this thing can happen to everybody. Sometimes even you don't have money with you at that particular time, and you are in a problem, you are in an emergency, and you will see people coming, running, thinking that these are good people that are going to help you because you are in a situation so that you can come out of the situation. Woe unto you, because these people are looking for an opportunity. In other words, in Kenya, your problem becomes my gain. How? I get an opportunity of cashing out of your problem. This is a societal issue, and it is a big problem whereby instead of being human beings and kind hearted and friendly and considerate, we tend to take opportunities out of somebody's misery, and this is a form of corruption. This is a form of corruption. So I thought it is important for us to deal with some of these vices in our society, so that we don't have a culture whereby, a problem is not solved with good intention, but a problem is solved with an intention of getting something from that particular person. You go to a building and you want a parking, and the askaris, the people who guard the building, they want you to part with something so that you can get a easy way of parking your car maybe for a few minutes, but they cannot let you do it in peace. You have to part out with something, and this is not a common occurrence in many other places and outside there, out of Africa. But here in Africa, we have to change these things. We have to change the way we take other people's problem. Instead of taking other people's problem and making them more problematic, we need to have a human heart, a heart that is considerate, a heart that can help somebody instead of taking an advantage. The same case happens even with an office. You want to get a job, and I'm told of scenarios whereby women have to sell their bodies so that they can get a favor of a job. Apparently, most of the things that are happening in our offices, in public places, in private places, some of the promotions that people have right now, they are not out of merit, but they are out of the merit of something else. And people have to deal with these things. We've got to talk about them because this is a culture that we've taken for ourselves, and we must come to an end of this. It may take time to to deal with these things, but somebody has to say it. I've traveled a little bit, and when you get into some of these international airports, our passport is a very powerful passport. And people will, yes, know you are, yeah, you are a Kenyan. Yes, those guys who run, I know Kenya because of the marathon and all that. Why is it that when we have a good name out there because of what God has enabled us through our athletes and many other celebrities and people that have raised the flag of Kenya high, why is it that then others are bringing it down? Because you go to some other places and people will look at you and say, oh, yeah, a Kenyan, yes, the place of corruption, the place whereby, people are ripping off the economy, people are ripping off, the society through corruption, and the gap of the rich to the poor is so wide because people get to understand that even when you talk about leadership, it's in the merit of who has what. And this is a society that is killing itself. And we've got to say this, not only in church, but also in our social society, in social life. We've got to talk about these vices because this is the elephant in the house. This is what is killing us, and I'm sure we need to deal with these things. We keep on talking about Kenya being a religious society, but if that's so the case, why then is this some of these vices so deep rooted? Because they are not godly. They are not godly. They are not godly. If you've not been conned in this city, if you've not been conned in this Kenya, then you are very lucky. Consider yourself very lucky. Yeah, consider yourself very lucky. So we have an identity that we've embraced that is not who we are. Our identity, it is not corruption. Our identity is not greed. Our identity is not all these vices. Our identity is that we are Kenyans, and we need to rise up and bring down that which other people know about ourselves, because that is what we've done. Yeah. So if you listen to this video, if you're watching me right now, try to change this in a small way wherever you are. You know, that person that needs help, don't make their lives bitter. Don't make the situation worse than you found them. Be a helping hand. Be a shoulder that somebody can cry on. Instead of refusing that person to get that job, to get that interview, to pass because you want other things, why don't you consider yourself being that person that is going to do the right thing? Do the right thing. Do the right thing. I have seen even, as I talked about the road range, you find people who are so corrupt even on the road. Drivers, you want just to be, so a hooligan because you want more. You want everything for yourself, even on the road. Why can't we be a society that will say we want to stand for the right morals? Why? Because it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. And if we can be able to address these things, either people like it or not, we've got to say it. It is not a matter of whether people like it. It's not a matter of conforming to what is current, because everybody will say, yeah, this is the norm. If you have to get a job, you have to corrupt. If you have to get a tender, you have to corrupt. We've got to say it the right way. And if you are there and you are leaders in whatever sphere of influence, you need to know that you need to do the right thing. Even in church, yes, even in church, you don't have to, get your tribesmen and tribeswomen being in leadership because you want to have it easy in that leadership and in that ministry. No, that is not the way it ought to be. We are people of the same color, of the same blood. We could have different names, we could have different languages, but that doesn't make us different. That doesn't make us to be, people that don't want to receive, the right thing from the other person. Do the right thing, because our identity, it is that we are human beings, and we've got to do the right thing, because also God expects us to do the right thing. My name is Ben, and I will be doing some of these podcasts here and just talk about things that I consider that they are necessary for us to talk about. And I mean, whoever would listen to these and whoever would want to comment, just comment there and let's talk about this. In case you have something that you want to talk about, just give me a shout out. Let's see how we can be able to bring out this. I grew up listening to one of the veteran broadcasters here in Kenya called Leonard Mambo Mbotela, and he had a program that used to be asked, Je, huu ni ungwana? Is it the right thing to do? You know, those things. And I realized that this was a learning lesson. I mean, a learning program. And I think these things must be dealt with, and somebody has to say them so that we can have a morally right, upright society that is going to be boastful of who they are, that is going to be proud, to stand up and be counted, and as a generation that will bring change. Yes, I know and I understand that we are living in very different, difficult, changing times, but that doesn't mean that morality has to change. No, it doesn't have to change. Things could be changing, but that doesn't have to make it worse for the other person. Your rights doesn't have to be your rights in the violation of the other person's right. Your rights stops where my right begins. And if we can be able to embrace this as a society, then we are going to have an upright society that is going to be so proud to be called African, to be called Kenyan, to be called whatever, And I do believe this is the right thing. This is Ben, and this is my lesson. Bye bye and shalom for now.